with Juvenile number 3. Is that the correct cover? I hope. I don't think it is. I think we might be on Juvenile 4. Let's find out. Now, this book is out from Image by Jesus Orellana, and I've been shouting from the rooftops about this book because it is absolutely amazing. And I'm going to hope. Have you caught up with it yet?
I've read the first 2 issues. I really
You got
enjoyed
the
them.
first 2, right? So we are actually on Juvenile 4 now. So I've put the wrong cover in there. But you know what? We'll make up for that because I want to show you the art. I really want to show the art on this book. So let me work some magic, some in studio magic, right? Because I believe this book needs a little bit more of a show and tell. So let's turn this off and let's look at this cool thing, man. So not only is it a fantastic story, right? The style of the art is amazing, right? I love the style art, but it's all told in these panels, like I mentioned before, right? So every
Yeah.
page are these full length panels, and I don't think I've seen that in comics before or very often, right? And it's every
No.
issue. It's like this, and it is incredible. It really works. You do feel like you're watching a film. Now I know Jesus. It made a movie. I think that's what brought him to prominence and fame. But this book is just stunning. I mean, look at it. Every single page is an absolute delight. So let's talk about this book. So basically, we're in this world where a lot of kids are stuck in these like detention centers because when they're 18, the truth of it is that they have powers, right? And the adults are scared that when they hit 18 and these powers manifest or whatever, that you know the adults are going to have trouble, right? So what they do is they keep them dosed up in these institutions, and they basically lobotomize them when they hit a certain age. But this kid comes into this place, and this one's quite a notorious institution, and he's not been taking his tablets, right? So he can do telekinetic powers and everything else, and he shares it with this girl. And they're starting to have this sort of weird little sort of love affair going on. Anyway, while they're in there, lots of bad things happen. Some of the kids get lobotomized. There's a bully there. It's one of your classic sort of Lord of the Flies things, right? But the last issue, she decides after Max, now he's the main protagonist in this, after Max is like taken to solitary and drugged out of his head to douse these powers, she decides to share with everyone, look, stop taking your pills, trust me. And they all discover they've got powers, right? And it's so cool. So you've got all these kids in here, right? And you see slowly through the book that they're starting to learn how to use these powers. They can float, telekinetic powers. They're like lifting shit behind the teachers, behind their backs. And they decide, listen, we need to do something about this. We need to start training. We need to make a prison break, essentially. So they drug one of the guards quite heavily by sort of using their sort of telekinetic powers to drop the pills in the drink. And then they go off to start training and basically become themselves again. So you see them slowly sort of put on their own clothes because they all have to wear sort of prison duds, right? Regaining their identities, they're becoming themselves again, and it is so cool. So that's what this whole issue is about. They've all got realize they've got powers. They're training to make a prison break. However, the guard that they drug wakes up, and then all the other sort of guards and the people that run this institution decide that it's time to sort of take back the farm, right? And the bully type of guy, the sort of the guy that doesn't get on with the main protagonist, he thinks, fuck this, it's time to run. And they're like, we're not ready. But he's like, no, it's now or never, let's go. So this is what happens by the end of the issue, is that they've locked a lot of these guards in one of the rooms, and they're trying to escape the institution. And on the way out, they burst into a room and find one of the kids being, I guess, lobotomized, one of their brains being messed with. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. I mean, look at this art. Look at it. It's just beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite indie books.
No, it's a cool little book.
In 40 odd years of reading, 45 years of reading comics. I don't know when I started. 5. It's just amazing. That's cover 4. There's one more issue, unfortunately. That's the only sad thing about it, that it is only 5 issues. But I tell you what, I'm hoping he leaves it on a cliffhanger to open it up to tell more stories, because it's just a fantastic book. And if all the other comics were this quality coming out from Marvel and DC, mate, we would be spoilt for choice. Absolutely spoilt for choice. So there we go. super positive review after my rant. So please catch up with it, Jim.